Behind the Shades.
Take us through how that would help us with stress and anxiety, because I know those are two
Yeah.
areas that you highlighted when we initially spoke.
Yes. So the thing that I think most people need to recognize is that if you're experiencing levels of stress, and stress I'm actually considering to be the physiological response in the body. So stress isn't the stuff outside of us that's happening. It's not the drama in the relationships. It's not the bullying at work. It's not the, issues parenting or whatever. Those are stressors. Stress is a physiological response in the body that has a certain set of symptoms connected to it. So, increased heart rate, increased blood pressure, increased breathing rate, increased blood sugar. All of these things are physiological, and that is the stress response. And that can, in some people, ramp up to anxiety. So what I want people to understand is those things are very, very unlikely to be triggered by the events that are actually happening right now, but instead are actually patterns, old habits that the unconscious mind created very young in response to different stimuli outside of you. And so when we're very young, here's the analogy that I like to share. So when we're very young, it's like we're born with an empty filing cabinet, and the filing cabinet is the unconscious mind. Let's just imagine that. And what happens from about age zero to age 7-ish, it's like people are opening up the doors to our filing cabinet and putting their own darn files in there. So they're putting in their own pain and their own value systems, and they're putting in their own belief structures. And unfortunately, our brains aren't developed enough to have the discernment to say, actually, I don't want your junk files in my filing cabinet. Thank you very much. So instead, they collect. And then by about age 7, it's kind of locked in. The way of seeing the world through these files is established. Now, neurologically, we can say, I don't want your files in my cabinet, but by that point, it's actually too late. And it sets up these patterns and these habits. And we go through life reacting to things automatically without thinking about them. That's the unconscious. And until we can change how the unconscious mind has stored those things, which we can do with NLP, they're going to continue going through life feeling stressed and feeling anxious, thinking that it's about their, the problem in their relationship. But really, I would say 99% of the time, it's actually due to something that happened way long ago.
So if I were to so if I came to you now and I said that I am going through this situation, I just can't make relationships work. I've tried. I've gone to the gym. I've grown a beard. I've done my hair. I watch what diets I eat. I've become vegan, all these fads, right? Everything that is cool these days to do. I'm doing it, but I'm still having issues. I'm still not feeling worthy. I'm not feeling well. And it's starting to build up anxiety and stress into me. Do you help with identifying the source of my stress and anxiety and then working outward, or is there a different process that you take?
Yeah, I think you've pretty much hit the nail on the head. What NLP really excels at is using very specific language, very specific questions to sort of bypass the thinky mind and get access to that unconscious one. And so my first 2 hours with a client is spent doing this assessment, and people get asked questions. I ask them questions that they've never been asked before. And through that questioning, through those very specific language patterns that I use, we get to what the root cause is. And the root cause is ultimately going to be one of those limiting belief statements that we were talking about. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not lovable. And so, yes, we pinpoint the root cause, which we can clear through the work that we do. It comes later in the process, though, that particular thing. But then what we do is we do work outward, but in a very strategic way. The first thing we do with people is clear negative emotions that are unresolved from the past. So things we just didn't have the neurological development to be okay with at the time. We clear then traumatic events, significant emotional events, and then we get onto those limiting decisions. And what's really cool in the process next is we actually help people reconnect to the positive. We help them re-engage with the things that are important to them. And we have to take out those old files, shred them, reorganize them, whatever we need to do, and then put in the good ones. We need to put in a file for peace. We need to put in a file for feeling loved. We need to put in a file for being worthy. We need to put in a file for joy or energy or whatever it is the thing that the person wants. And so we do this in this really strategic way, but it does start from that root cause, very deep belief. Yeah.